Hello, this is John Majori with Majori on Bowie.com. And today I have a very special, actually an extraordinary guest, Eugene Kibets, speaking with me from Kiev in Ukraine. I found Eugene after I discovered on YouTube footage of what I thought was an extraordinary concert held in Kiev earlier this year in support of the Ukrainian army in its literal battle against Vladimir Putin and Russian aggression. And I just thought that it was an extraordinary thing, and I'm so grateful for Eugene to join me today. So before I start asking you about the concert, this is the first time I've ever interviewed somebody who's in a country that's under attack, and I just want to ask, how are you? Are you safe?
No, no one's safe here, but I'm here. I'm working, even doing shows, as you saw, trying to live in the life that we could live right now during this war.
Yeah, well, that makes me all the more grateful that you're giving me the time here today. And my hope, I've got the Ukrainian flag behind me. My hope is that I'm in Albany, New York, which is in the United States, and I know people all over the world, not that many people, but all over the world visit my blog. And my hope is that as a result of this conversation, we raise awareness about what's happening in Ukraine. I thank you for joining me. So why don't we start? Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and your involvement with the concert, how it came together?
I'm a promoter for 15 years in Ukraine. Usually I'm doing like international artists here, international shows in Kiev and some cities in Ukraine. During the war, so I started to do totally different that it used to be. So I became an animal rescuer. So in the first months of war, we formed a team, and now we're saving pets all over the war zone. And as you can see, this is my shelter. We're speaking from my shelter that I built in Kiev. And it's interesting also for you because it's the name is Cats on Mars.
Yes, yes. Okay.
Yes.
I did not
The name of
realize
the shelter is Cats on Mars, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's
Wow.
also like about David. Yeah, and for the last 2 years, well, it's 2.5, so I'm not doing concerts, I'm saving animals. But last year we started to do some shows. We even promoted some international acts that arrived in Kiev to perform. And then we decided to bring Bowie Night back again.
Yeah.
So it wasn't the first one, it was the fourth one.
So Bowie Night again. So is that a
Yeah.
tradition in Kiev?
It used to be. So when David died, next day I spoke with my friend who is a musician, and I said maybe we should do a tribute concert.
Yeah.
Because we were so devastated. And he said, okay, let's do it. Maybe some other bands will join. In 6 days, we found 20 bands.
Yeah.
So that would like to participate in this show. The idea was to make a free entrance. All the artists performed for free, and we just wanted to show David's music to the public. We arranged this concert in a month. We had a sold out capacity. For the capacity show in a club for 1,000 people. Okay, we did it. So we did a tribute concert. Good. Week passed by, and I thought maybe we should do it next year. Why not? So I found the bands again in a week. I found another 20 bands for the next year, and we decided to do it like annual thing. Always free entrance. Always performed for free. So nothing about the money, about the show, only about the music. And we did 3 years in a row. And then the venue that we performed every year closed. So we stopped this Bowie Night. During the COVID, I emailed my friend, same musician, saying maybe we should bring Bowie Night back together. Yeah, we found it was. I think it was January. I was in Barcelona. It was January 2022. So we found 10 bands in a day. So I decided I will be back in Kiev in a week. I will have some show there, and then we'll found like another band. And in February the war started, so we closed this idea like for good. And when the shows came back to Ukraine, like in 2023, so I decided, why not? Why didn't bring it back? So I found totally different 20 bands because like I saw the posters for all the three shows. I like looked at it, and 90%, 80% of the band are disbanded through these 5 years. So I found the totally fresh blood from Ukraine, almost all the new bands, like couple of old ones. And yeah, so we decided to make it as a again free entrance, but with donations. It could be like 1 penny, it could be like $100. So any donation counts as an entrance. Yeah, and we did the shows. There were 20 bands, and one unfortunately got sick, so we had 19 bands.
Well, I've been watching the videos, and their performances are terrific. They very high quality bands. Are they well known in Ukraine? They really seem exceptionally good performers.
They're well known in the like close publics,
Yeah,
so it's not like a major band. It's a band that I like. It's a band that I'm friends with. It's a band that can perform for free. It's a
yeah.
band that has time to make a cover version of a song. So it's not like a major band who can gather like arenas. It's a small venue bands, but they're really good ones. Yeah, it wasn't for the army directly. We raised for the hospital equipment for
Right,
their
right.
like wounded for the medical supplies, and we raised 100,000 Ukrainian hryvnias. It's about the $2,500.
$2,500. So
Yeah.
I'm going to skip ahead. I'm going to come back to a couple things, but is there any thought of distributing a CD or an album of this concert outside Ukraine? I'm certain that either people would buy an album outside Ukraine, or if you took this show on the road, if you were able to get those bands to New York City or London, you'd have sold out concerts there. I don't know how practical that would be, but have you put any thought into that?
Of course, it was my dream from the first concert that we did, but unfortunately, due to the legal rights and the
Yeah.
performance rights, we can't even record it officially. So it's a bootleg that you saw.
Okay. All
It
right.
wasn't our recording, yeah. So officially, we cannot do that. It was a free entrance that saved us. So if we do it for the money, we can't do it legally.
Okay.
So we can't record it. So we have to apply for rights, and it's really, really high sums.
Okay. Well, I will put links to the performances on the blog, which I already have, but I'll put links in with this interview as well, so people could at least hear it. And again, I'm hoping that this raises some awareness. So, speaking of raising awareness, one of the things that I thought was extraordinary was in the United States, when I see news stories about Ukraine, they're usually accompanied by pictures of the war zone, the active war zone. And it was somewhat incongruous to see people going to a concert. The stage looked like it could have been New York City, or like I said, it could have been any place. And it didn't. It seemed like it was an incongruous area. How are people going about life, going to concerts, saving pets, just existing during wartime?
Last year, it became more common to attend the
Yeah.
concert. Like even last month, we had 3 sold-out shows in a Palace of Sport. Not our show, but one Ukrainian artist gathered like 3 times 10,000 people, 3 days in a row. So most of this concert, of course, it's free. It's not free. Most of the concerts are the income are donated to any foundations, but the economic has to work. So yeah, so cafe is working. So exhibitions, I don't know, entertainment centers are working, so why not doing the concert? The problem is that usually we do the international artists, and now we have to wait for any of them to decide to come to Ukraine. So far we did two international artists in Ukraine for the past 2 years. Yeah,
Who are they?
so it was the Tiger Lilies from UK.
Yeah.
And IMX from US.
Yeah. Well, that's amazing. Let me ask you a few questions about Bowie.
Yeah, sure.
A lot of Bowie's music dealt with oppression, war. I'm thinking of albums like Diamond Dogs or Scary Monsters. He himself performed by the Berlin Wall, shortly before it fell, and his performance of Heroes has taken on legendary status there, where people on the eastern side of the wall heard it, and I know he was very heartened by it. Is there anything in particular about Bowie's music that people found inspirational, or that people find inspirational, or that they wanted to hear in this type of concert that's relevant to what they're experiencing?
To tell the truth, I don't think so.
Yeah.
So people now go and attend the concerts to get away from all the depression and all the war news and everything that they have been surrounded. So we're having concerts from air sirens to air sirens. So we can stop the concert can be stopped any minute if the air sirens will go on. So people are going there to forget about it. So for at least for 90 minutes, for 2 hours, to forget about it. So they're not like asking for some sad songs.
Yeah.
The bands choose the songs. So there was funky ones, there was hard heavy ones, so electronic ones. So any band has their own sound. So it wasn't about the hard feelings for the lyrics or for the songs. It was only about the show.
Did the bands choose their own songs, or was there the
band choose their own songs, but we had like one song we had that three bands want to perform. So whatever was first, they like booking it. So I really think it was the first Bowie night when no one chose Heroes. I don't know why.
Really?
So it was it was strange for me. Usually it's performed from the stage. But if the songs is booked by one band, so other bands can take it. And there was two bands who translated the lyrics to Ukrainian.
I noticed that. I was going to ask about that.
Yeah.
There were two. Yeah, that's interesting. Heroes, that's interesting that nobody chose that. Well, I do this feature on my blog where I select a cover of the week, and just anecdotally, that's the most covered Bowie song there is. Heroes. There's every week, multiple bands cover Heroes. So that's interesting that wasn't there. Were there any moments in the concert that were particularly memorable for you?
The best moment of the concert is there was no air sirens during it. So the concert was 4.5 hours, because with changeovers was 19 bands performing, and there was like free time for us. So all good. We even got in schedule in the middle. So, we had sound checks from 7 a.m. in the morning. It was like a long day, but it was a happy day.
Great. Do you plan to do it again?
I don't know. I want to, but I don't know if I should, because we'll see.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, there are not so many bands now in Ukraine, and I don't want to take the same ones.
Yeah.
And I think I will start thinking about it in September. So I need 1 month to arrange everything. So in September, I think I will decide to do it.
I live in the United States, as I said, and I don't really have a life experience that is comparable to what you must be experiencing in Kiev. But the closest thing that I could think of is when New York City was attacked in 2001. That I live in New York State, not not in New York City, but not that far. And it was very traumatic. And shortly thereafter, I attended a concert. There wasn't a David Bowie concert. It was a Buffalo Philharmonic performed Beethoven's Ninth. And I just felt like the healing power of music was important. And Bowie himself, just a few weeks after the attack, participated in a concert. It was called the Concert for New York, where he performed with others. I think Paul McCartney actually organized that concert. And music was so important to help people in New York State and in the United States heal from that experience. You're still experiencing it. You're still experiencing the war. And how important is music for just making it through the day, and beyond this concert, just in general? How important is music for morale and for just people getting through the day?
I can't say for all the people. Sorry, I can't say for all the people, but but I can say for myself. For me, music is something like it's getaway. I'm listening to music from different like time of my life, and I'm getting back to the places that I was during that. And first in 2022, I didn't listen to music for I think 5 months, so I just can't. Yeah, and first first music, like first album that I listened to, it was like new Red Hot Chili Peppers album because I really wanted to hear it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was like first music during the war. So far, yeah, when I'm listening to Bowie or Pet Shop Boys, I'm getting back to UK in my mind.
Yeah.
When I'm listening to something Spanish, I'm getting back to Barcelona. So I'm trying to visit the places that I love in my head that I can't do now.
Yeah. Great. So I'm just going to ask two last questions. And the first is the more important question is there anything that you want to say to people outside of Ukraine that might be watching this video right now that they might not be aware of or they might not be thinking about?
The main thing I could say, so please don't forget about us. Don't forget that the war is still going on. We are losing the media. So there are not so many things about Ukraine now in the media, but it became worse. So the war is getting much worse. And please support as much as we can. I'm not talking only about the money. I'm talking about like post on Facebook is also help. Like
Yeah.
you post. So don't forget about Ukraine. So we're still here. We're normal people.
Great. Thank
Like
you.
you.
I just want to add one thing to that before I ask you my final question. In the United States, Ukraine is very much an issue in our federal elections because in our election for president, we have a candidate who's the current president who is supportive of Ukraine, and his major challenger, the former president, is a supporter of Russia. And the outcome of this presidential election is going to be enormously impactful for you and for the people in Ukraine right now. So even if people from my country do nothing else, they should take this into consideration when they go to vote this year. That's just my 2 cents. But let's end on a not so serious note. A question that I ask everybody: what is your favorite David Bowie album and the favorite David Bowie song?
Oh, I was afraid about the question because during the different time of my life, so I wasn't a Bowie fan for whole life. So during different times, I had a different favorite songs. I know to name a few. I don't want to be like banal songs like Heroes or Life on Mars that I love.
Yeah.
But to tell the songs that people can name on top of their head, so one of my favorite is Little Wonder.
Yes.
And the second one, I think it's Hello Space Boy remix because it features two
Yeah.
of my favorite bands, like Pet Shop Boys and David Bowie.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Great.
So
Little Wonder.
during when I visited the Lazarus musical like 6 years ago, So I came to London only for this. And like Absolute Beginners became my favorite song after the
Yeah.
musical. So for some period of time. So I didn't notice it before. So yeah, so I think maybe every year it could change. Every favorite songs. Depends how sick I am from the old one.
No, I'm actually in the same place. If you ask me on a different day, I'll give you a different answer.
Yeah,
So
yeah, it's all about the mood.
yeah. Well,
And
I want to
about
thank.
favorite album, it's Earthling, I think, because it's combining David Bowie and my favorite sound, the 90s.
Yeah,
It's full of 90s sounds. It's my favorite album of him.
that Little Wonder is off Earthling, and I'll
Yes.
just say,
Yeah.
that Little Wonder is my favorite Bowie video.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I think it's the first one that I heard from him.
yeah, yeah. It's not my favorite song. I like the song. It's not my absolute favorite, but I think in terms of his videos, he has excellent videos. But that one's my favorite.
Yeah.
So yeah. Well, Eugene, thank you very much for joining me today.
Thank
This
you,
is really
John.
special. My heart is with you. I hope to speak with you again. Let's stay in touch, and I hope that a lot of people see this video and are thinking about Ukraine and thinking about how they could help. So thank you very much for giving me this time.
Thank you. Thank you.